Alrighty, hello and welcome to a quick little overview. I say quick, it might take a little bit of time, but this is a quick overview, I suppose, of the fundamentals of tempo. There are a few level-specific things that will be covered in, well, level-specific videos, and there will be general things here that are covered. So, welcome. I hope if you're having a look at the game and you're thinking of giving it a run, it's definitely worth it. It can be a little bit tricky at times, but I think it's definitely worth your time. So, one thing that is always worth mentioning, as far as the board goes at the moment as of recording this, there's only one category and that's any percent, and as such, all runners run on easy because lo and behold, that is the quickest and that is the easiest. I can't say for certain that control types folks use different things. As you can see, there are many options for whatever you might desire. I have always gone with pad type 1. I assume that's what God intended, so we just go with that anyway. Sound monitor is not of our interest. So before you start a run, make sure it's easy. Unless of course we make a normal board or hard board. This game in hard, I could barely get through on normal, so goodness gracious knows how hard it is. So timing starts when we press start. But that is not what we are looking at the moment. We are going to get some save states going. This is currently being shown off on Fusion. I would personally recommend Fusion above other emulators because generally others choose speed over accuracy. But that is a debate for a completely different time. 32x emulation is not grand at the moment, but hey, we're here with tempo. So I've pressed start. There is a pause thing on start, as you can see, you know, what you'd expect from a Sega game. And then here we are with tempo. So this is one of the first of 7 performances. And yeah, this is our versions of stages. So as you can see, after a while, if tempo has been sat still, he will, well, stood still, he will do a little turn to the side because he wants to get going. He is tired of our nonsense. So understandable. He's just vibing out. And yeah, so we move around with the directional keys, of course. You can see him do his funky smear animations. And then what we have is a 3-button controller interface. So B, jump. Understandable, you know. And that is a full jump. You can do a tap, which is just a shorter jump. And then if we do another quick tap, or a quick tap after our big glide, our big jump, we can do a glide, which is incredibly useful for getting over sort of large bits of terrain. And yeah, one thing that we didn't mention with the diagonal keys, just the straight left and right, is that if we double tap, we get a sprint, which combined with a jump gives you a leap, which, as you can see, can get you very far in a very short space of time. So that is our main bit of movement that we want to do. Jumping like that, we don't want to get hit again, that'd be a shame. And yeah, so that is what we can expect from the B button. We can also expect kicking from the A button. So if we're stood still and we just want to approach a guy, we can just do a kick like that. But if we see a guy a little way off and we've got a bit of time, we want to be sprinting, we want to be doing speedrun stuff. So if we do a double tap and we press A, we kick him. Which, it's useful to know both of those because they are both relevant in a speedrun sense. And then what we have on our C button is that. This is a shoot 'em up now, so Tempo can use his fingers to snap enemies out of sense, I suppose, I don't know. That doesn't stun them forever. I didn't mean to hit him. You can do a classic Mario and jump on top of enemies to get rid of them as well. But our main way of dealing with them is usually just hitting them with one of these or one of those. But if you're desperate, you can always rely on a snap to get one of the characters out of it. So that is how Tempo moves. That's how he interacts with some of the enemies. And we can see there's an umbrella here. Now, I know it's hard to tell what's going on in the foreground and the background, but this umbrella is actually here to help us. So, as you can see, we picked up those musical notes there and our health went back up. Now, that also contributes to our score, and score tallies up at the end of each stage. So generally, if you can avoid them, avoid taking hits, and then you can avoid having to get extra musical notes, that just helps you go faster. Now, yeah, that's effectively all you need to know with those. There are also some power-ups scattered around the stages, but we don't really need them. They're for safety. We can show off how those work in individual stages and individual performances, but for now, this is all you need to know. This is the bread and butter of tempo speedruns. So, as you can see, there are a whole load of fellas here looking very dapper. I feel a little bit rude getting rid of them. And then we have these, I don't know the musical terms, I'm just going to say triple clef or something. These are other things that we can interact with. Now there's another one on the platform below us, and depending on where you hit it, it will sort of change directions. So because we were there, we run on top of it, and we can just be in this loop if we want to be, but we don't want to be. So these depend on what angle you come at them from. So if we're up sort of diagonal, it'll do that. If we come from the side, it will give us a little bump. And then if we come at it from below, it'll do that. So different strokes for different folks. Now this is something that is useful in this stage. I'll explain in the downtown performance, but if you can chain things together with this thing to go fast. Didn't quite do that there, but if you do that well, you can land just over that umbrella, and then you can jump over all of these guys, which is a little bit quicker than doing that. And then we can use some of the height that we get off hitting enemies to get through the stages quicker. These are water droplets. We do not want to hit them because this dude's only a small grasshopper, so we don't want that. Now, there are walls in this game, who would have thought? And we can use these to our advantage. One thing that I like to do with this wall, just for simplicity's sake and the enemy that is at the top of it, I like to just do a little smack, because it puts us right at the top of the wall. I did take damage there, didn't mean to, and it gets us up to this section. But there are different ways that we can traverse walls as well, so I'm going to make sure that we show that off in this section. You're getting a bit of the downtown performance, you know, nightlife. This ribbon we hold up to go up on it. I know, completely rocket science here. So those enemies are very tiresome, and it is very hard to get one of these leaps here. As you hopefully can see on my input display, I am trying. I really am trying. These accordions, they are incredibly difficult to get leaps off as well, but we managed to there. And then if we find ourselves on a wall that isn't really helping us and we don't have any other way of going up, I'm gonna glide here because we don't want to get hit, then we can kick and glide. So you want to notice a rhythm, because you can do this, but it's a little bit rougher. And you can't just mash because it takes you further away from the wall and it's not as quick, so you want to be careful with your glide and make sure you're facing the right way. And then at the end of almost every performance, this guy will give you a makeover. We want to sprint back over to him. As you can see, it's not sprinting. And he'll get our makeup done and we'll be ready for a boss fight. But that is for a different time. So I am going to show off what there is to see in terms of other mechanics. In this stage, we have a conveyor belt. I think we'll go through that when we come to that stage, but we have other things as well. Epilepsy warning, flashing lights, apologies. So, in this game, there are ladders. And, you know, ladders can generally be quite slow in games, so I'm going to show you how someone who doesn't know what's going on might do it. Fairly slow, but in a speed sense, this is something that I've just sort of muscle memory by this point, and I forget the inputs. So what we want to do is a leap jump into here, and then we want to use C, which is our flicking button. So we want to flick a musical note as we are about to go up this ladder. So earlier on, you saw that I was holding up to go up there. we want to sort of mold all of those together. So we want to do a leap, and then what the C button does is that sends us up vertically, and then it skips the animation of having to, you know, climb up, and it just sends us to the top. So hopefully if I do this right, if I can do a sprint. Okay, we're a little far off there. Okay, we're sprinting, we're jumping a little late, and there we go. That sends us up there. We'll show that off again. This comes up twice in another stage as well, so it's certainly worth knowing. There we go, first try. And then this section can be a little bit tricky, and then what we do to get up quickly, to get a lot of vertical sort of movement to get up to this little teleporter that we need, I'm going to do a combination of jumping, flicking, and kicking as well. So watch my inputs. And then I did a little glide to go back onto there. Definitely worth checking those inputs again. I'm going to be doing a little run and flick to get up there, step micro time save, and then we go through here. Now another game, Fundamental. As you can see, I'm on very low health at the moment. I want to play it safe around. Ooh! I was hoping it would sprint. Thank you, game. We want to play it safe around there, and there are big golden notes at the end of this stage and other stages that will fully regenerate your health before boss fights, or sort of the last gauntlet of stages, which is very, very handy. Right. We want to keep going. Let's see what we've got in terms of other save states. These will all be level relevant information. This boss fight is a very ass boss fight. We'll go through the fundamentals on that, and then floor clips. This is something that is effectively only TAS only, but might as well show it off here. I will go through this a little more in Jungle Performance, but you can clip through a lot of solid ground, I believe. So I have seen something done by Lizstar, which I have not seen the style of clip that she goes for before, and just seeing it the other day I was like, wow, okay, I wonder how easy this is. So you can clip through this little bit of slope here, but I don't know whether it's a little bit easier, but what you can do is you can also do it here. So the way that we want to set up for clipping through this little bit of ground, we want to line up effectively with where that crack is. We want to do a short jump, and then we want to pause. Now, I don't know how close the frame inputs are for this, so bear with me, but I believe sort of frame by frame, we want to be making sure that tempo stays in this pencil. He's not quite in at the moment, but in this pencil dive animation, so that he can just slide through the cracks. So we want to do a lot of pause buffering, because there is no way that this can be done RTA without pausing. So we want to do short jumps, and as you can see, when he's going one way, I don't worry about whether he's going to come out and it's not going to work. I sort of minced my words there, but when you put one input in and he's still facing the other way, you can do a little pause and it should register. If you're coming out of that animation, you just set up for it again. So he's through the cracks here. We're safe at this point. He can begin to go through, and only his feet will go through, and then he'll pop back up. So you've got to really make sure that you're going straight through, unpause. I don't need to do any more of that to get through. And there he is. So ideal, because the boss fight is just here, and it saves us having to do a stage. That can be used somewhere else in the run, but I don't think it's going to be RTA anytime soon. But yeah, I've seen Liz do it somewhere around here, so definitely worth having a look at Liz's run. Anyway, that is the fundamentals of tempo, beginning through each stage, showing you what's worth knowing speedrun wise. Maybe a few safety strats here and there, because this game can be particularly tough. But for now, best of luck with the game. Thank you for watching this. And yeah, if you need any help or have any questions, you can either let me know or join the Tempo Speedrunning Discord, because we now have one, and it covers Super Tempo, Tempo Junior, saying Tempo a lot, and they're all pretty fun games. So yeah, if you think that's worth your time, you should definitely join us. We're cool people. Alrighty, best of luck with the game, and yes.